All right, gang, so I want to do a recap on the unit circle and some of the things that we talked about in class. I'm going to start out with the circle once again and a reminder of how that works. So we have our unit circle. I'm just going to draw the x-axis through here and the y through here to give us a starting point. And again, I'm going to, well, this time I'll do 45 degrees. A reminder, here is a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. If I were to say that this is, there's my 45, 45, 90. If I were to say that this was 3 root 2, what you've learned before is that to go from here to here, you divide by the square root of 2. So it would just be 3 and 3. However, if I were to make a triangle where this was 1, then I have to divide by the square root of 2 to get 1 divided by the square root of 2, and we would rationalize that, and it would be root 2 over 2. And so this would be root 2 over 2. So when I come over here to my 45-degree angle in my triangle, or in my unit circle, if this is 45 degrees, I've now made a 45, 45, 90. In a unit 1 circle, the radius is always 1. So the height of this triangle is root 2 over 2, and the base of this triangle is root 2 over 2, which is why this coordinate right here is root 2 over 2, comma, root 2 over 2. Now, we also talked about, well, what happens if I put an angle over here? And I'll call that angle, well, here's 90 degrees when I hit this axis, and I'll call this 135 degrees. Well, if I were to drop the height, again, because remember, I'm trying to find this coordinate. So this coordinate is a length of the x-axis, which is this, and a height of the y. So in order to do that, I make another triangle, but the same thing is true. This angle here, because it's 135 degrees, and this line represents 180 degrees, it's 45 degrees coming up this way. So that's why we call this the reference angle, because it makes the same triangle as the 45 in quadrant 1. So this is still root 2 over 2. This is a negative root 2 over 2 because remember it's not a distance, we're talking about where it is on the x-axis. So to get to this point on the x-axis, it's negative root 2, which is why this coordinate is negative root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. We also know a couple of things. We know in quadrant 2 that the x is negative and the y is the same, positive. So it's always a negative x, y. So this will happen with every coordinate. If I come down here and draw this angle, and I'll call this one 225, so I'm coming all the way around here. It's 225 degrees. Again, if I drop this down to the x-axis, if this is 180 to get to here, then this little bit extra here is 45 degrees. And we can see that it's directly below this coordinate here. It's in the same line, it's directly below. So it will have the same x value, negative root 2 over 2. And it's a reflection over the x-axis, so the y value will also be root 2 over 2. Again, if this is 1, if the hypotenuse is 1, this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle, this one right here. This triangle again is a 45, 45, 90. So if the hypotenuse is 1, then each one of these sides is going to be root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. And then if we include the fact that we're on a coordinate plane, they're both negative, and you can see where this coordinate comes in. Lastly, if I draw this angle, which is all the way around into here, so the entire angle is 315 degrees. Again, if I were to drop it to the x-axis right here, this little angle right in here is 45 degrees. Get that out of the way. That little angle right there is 45 degrees. So again, I have a hypotenuse of 1. This is root 2 over 2. And this distance here is also root 2 over 2. It's a positive x and a negative y. So I hope you can remember how to do that, and remember to use the reference angle. Good luck.